Hey everybody, welcome back to Play Casket. We are actually on episode 14, which is actually kind of crazy, but this is your hosts, Paraka the Goblin, and
Ghost, your co-host.
And today we're just going to kind of follow up with the last episode about mobile games and just kind of air out some of the situations that we do have grievances with mobile games and free-to-play stuff as well, which is a lot of the notorious predatory practices, and this doesn't just stop at mobile games or free-to-play games. This can happen in other games, and we've actually mentioned it before with how EA worked with Battlefront.
Yeah, you know what really grinds my gears, basically.
Yeah, basically, this is more of like highlighting the issues behind the dark curtain, as it were, that hides all the weird, shady nonsense that companies do. But I want to at least like talk about kind of why this kind of happens. Like, it's almost a natural expectation when games live on for too long, for especially like free to play and especially free to play mobile games. A lot of these companies need whales, right? And I'm not trying to justify this stuff. They need to hunt whales because the whales keep the company going, right?
Yeah.
Like that's all. That's what it is. People will pay maybe $4 or $5 if they think it's worth it, and that's fine. If people find value in it, that's whatever, right? I'm not even gonna like argue that, right? But there's people out there that love to just pay 60, 70, 80, hundreds of dollars into stuff. And it's because they enjoy that game, right?
Yeah, I think the top 10% basically funds the rest of the company. Everybody else, so the 90% are either free to play or just people who pay tiny amounts.
Like pennies.
Yeah. But the 10%, they fund everything for that free to play game.
And I'm guilty of that. Like I spent for a quote-unquote collector's version of the game Battle.Right. I love Battle.Right. It was worth it to me. I paid for it, and I wanted them to be supported. That's what I bought it for. I also bought their battle passes and all that. That's because, again, it was worth it to me. I made the leverage. I said, this is actually worth it. I want this game to continue. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right? However, when you got like free-to-play games out there that aren't hitting huge margins like Fortnite and stuff like that, it's a rarity.
Yeah.
More commonly, we will actually see a lot more free-to-play games struggle.
Yeah.
There's a game that's struggling right now, which is not a bad game. I think a lot more people should play it. Is Spellbreak. Yeah. It's on Steam, on PlayStation, and I think it just recently released on the Nintendo Switch as well. It's not a bad game. It's a very battle royale, just like Fortnite, but you use wizard stuff and you mix stuff together and all that. And that is a good example of what happens to most free-to-play games. Mm-hmm. It struggles, it gets dismissed, it's too much like something else at a glance, so nobody, like, why look at any battle royale game out there if it looks exactly like Fortnite in some kind of aspect?
Yeah. People
go, why I might as well play Fortnite then? You know,
I guess you have to say too, one that I did wail on was Exos Heroes, because it was just beginning, and I did put enough money to get the choice character selection, and yeah, if anybody who plays that knows how much money that is, that's a lot of money. So
yeah, so it's not saying that whales are bad.
Yeah.
Like, whales have to keep that company going, period.
Yeah.
Right? That's just what it is. However, when it starts lasting so long, you gotta get those whales to buy more, because they can't keep like just free for everyone who's not playing.
Yeah.
Like, especially even for people, like for games that aren't even going anywhere, because even though whales are buying like $500 worth of items, they still might have $700 bill. So they need like a couple hundred people still spending $1 or $2 more.
Yeah.
But if you're not making that much, they're eventually getting to that point where like we gotta kind of find more control in how to earn that money.
Well, that's also another issue with the mobile market, though. A lot of it's just kind of pump and dump.
Yeah.
You know, bring out Spellguard, the mobile game, and like it lasts for, you know, a year and a half, and then Spellguard 2 comes out, and then Spellguard 3, and it's just like they want you to keep spending when they see a decline in their return. So.
And that's a horrible market practice in general.
Yeah, but they do it. Yeah,
they do it every time. One of the things I really don't like, and then this is one of the things, like, if it's like an MMO style mobile game, because there's a lot from Korea and like the Southeast Asia areas that do a lot of mobile, like, massive MMO games. Like, it's impressive for the feat that you're actually considering, but when you look at it, that's where most of their market is on phones, which makes sense, right? I don't remember which one off the top of my head, but one of the ones that kind of got me was this pay for accessible power boosts, and it's just power. You just pay, and your character does like 5 times more damage for the next 3 weeks.
Oh my god!
And I was like, and it goes into PvP too. So like, that is just horrific.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know what game it was. It kind of looked like a weird chibi version of Lineage, but that's all I remember. I just remember seeing it and kind of looking into it, and this was 6 years ago. And it was just, it reminds me that there's quite a few that kind of do that though. Like, we will have, like, and not just in a very blunt way like that. Lineage 2 actually kind of did that, where your character, like, if you die, you dropped all your loot, and people can loot you and stuff like that. You can pay for protection of that. Like, oh, I'll pay for making sure I don't lose my loot or anything. And then there's also other ones that are very subtle about it. Like, if you pay for a VIP pass or whatever, you get a couple extra rolls on items, which just naturally makes you more powerful. And they have all the boosts, like the boosts hiding in the items. Like, this is the red wine; it boosts your attack power and stuff. Like, it's toxic. It's
yeah. Well, imagine playing chess and like my pawns can move 1 extra space. Like,
yeah.
Like, no, fuck you.
I'm sorry.
Play.
You just put down like a little gold coupon. I'm sorry, but my wizards can now move in M directions.
Yeah.
My rooks can cast fireball now. Thank you. I can do what I can lob this, and I could remove 3 people from a 4 spaces.
Yeah, and I pay for an extra queen. Yeah,
I paid for an extra queen. Yeah, I paid for freedom of movement on my king.
Yeah,
I paid for chains of freedom on my king, so he can't actually get checkmated.
Speaking of which, we should make a card game about this, where we get a chessboard plus a deck on the side to make it do wacky stuff. Oh man,
we could make our own like rough version of it and stream it on Twitch or something one of these days. It'd be fucking ridiculous. It'd be great. I'd enjoy that. But yeah, no, there's stuff like that. Like, it's very toxic. I don't like that.
So I don't know. For me, I'd say the bad practices is we could tell they're targeting kids. Or at the very least, we know that they're targeting people who aren't as well informed when they're putting money into these games. Because we always hear those horror stories of, a parent found a charge on their card that the kid spent thousands of dollars.
Everybody think of what happened to my child. We need to stop this. Dude, just be a dad.
Yeah. Watch your kids at least, please.
Yeah.
Don't let them play freemium games, especially if you got your credit card linked up to the account.
Oh God,
Don't let them use that account, please.
And honestly, like, just as a weird disclaimer, we're not trying to be like, please think of the children type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, we're not. It is reflective of what businesses will continue to target, as opposed to places that you would want them to target.
Because some people will have the money to be just like, oh man, Jimmy just spent $500. Oh well. And then they're like, oh.
And then you have EA just sitting there targeting kids and like with Call of Duty mobiles and Battlefield mobiles and all this stuff, and the kids just chunking them out.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we're just gonna keep this going instead of actually being pressed to the fire and actually making something on mobile that's worth it, or just dropping mobile altogether. If people aren't taking care of their kids, telling them we're not fucking doing this, and then they lose all that money, then they'll be forced to do something else. Yeah. But if they're just letting kids to just churn it out, they're just going to target that child until the entire family collapses from a very tragic divorce.
Yeah. I think the best bet you can do is buy them, the gift cards?
Yeah, gift cards is great. It's just a limit. It's like, here's $10, little Timmy. Shut the fuck up when you're done. Like,
At the very least, yeah, it won't strain your wallet.
yeah, and then you have far more control over it.
Yeah.
And even though some kids will associate the card with how much money they have, so they think that all the cards have $10, and when they steal them, ain't gonna do shit.
Yeah.
As opposed to stealing your credit card, which is gonna do a lot of shit.
Yeah, but I guess we'll see where it goes because even then, too, it's too convenient to just, I can't go to the store and buy the card, so I'm gonna have to just check it off on the digital cart and check out the way. Yeah.
Yep. So it's stuff like that that's very shady and stuff, right?
Oh, another thing they could do too is if you buy the highest thing in your store, just give them the whole game. Because there's certain things where you buy the $1,000 item in store. Oh, well, you can continuously purchase the $1,000 items instead of you bought $1,000, you basically get everything that you're gonna need. But they don't stop at that.
No, they don't because they know that you're gonna buy more. That's why they don't do it, and that's why it's very predatory. And I think that's really bullshit too. One of the things it gets me a lot is the temporary VIP gates, basically.
Yeah.
Some of these companies, it's like if you spend some money, we'll give you little bonuses over certain thresholds and stuff, which it's kind of shady. At the same time, it's the only way they can get somebody incentive where you don't have to pay more, but if you want to have another free roll every day, pay money, right? And for the most part, I don't care too much about gotcha stuff very much, but it's mainly because it's a lot of it's very visual or it's very not PvP centric, so you're not just overturning the power and stuff.
Yeah. Well, you end up getting your community though. That's the issue. Yeah. With the Destiny was like that. There were those who had just a regular game, and then when the Taken King came out, they started gating stuff off, and people couldn't really play because the fan base or the player base got split in two with those who have and those who don't have. So
yeah, and Nintendo kind of does this too with Smash Brothers. They'll add an algorithm where people who have certain characters unlocked can't compete with somebody who doesn't have those unlocked.
Yeah, okay.
But it's not an end all. It's not an end all catch all feature. You can still run in if you don't have any DLC. You can still run into a Sephiroth player out there. Okay. You can, and you can still fight against people like your friends who have the DLC when you don't. Okay. You can still do that too. Okay. So it's just it has a preference base that focuses some of it on the main game, and then others who have DLC will have a priority over other people who have the DLC.
Yeah.
Which it's toxic at the same time. It benefits some people. So you're only competing against people for the most part that know your character. That's fine, but you're also gating other people from having access to fight those characters. Yeah. So it's weird, right? But I don't like it. Overall, I don't like that mentality. If you can't beat Sephiroth, you shouldn't just be barred from being away from Sephiroth. If somebody has a DLC and he wants to challenge you, or if you run into him and he has Sephiroth or he has Steve and you have nobody, you should be able to fight him. Yeah. Period. That's it. Yeah. And the same thing with every fighting game out there too. But the issue is some of these games try to overboost the new character, so everybody has to crave the new character. Yeah. Brawl Stars, I feel like, has been doing that too. Some of the characters just destroy when they first come out. Yeah. And they're like, never mind, we've nerfed them into the ground. Halfway into the season, and oh well, that sucks. But
was it Core A Fighting who was talking about don't nerf, boost instead?
Yeah, but there's only so much you can do with the boosting.
No, okay.
Eventually everybody's doing 1 million damage.
No, okay.
Even though it's satisfactory to bring a warrior up to a rogue's damage in equal parts, it looks really good, but eventually you're going to just start, you're basically going to start number racing.
Okay.
And you're just going to keep running them all up to higher numbers, so being able to bring them down and pull them up is is good.
Yeah.
Don't just nerf things, but you also boost things.
Okay.
Buff and nerf, that's kind of the whole nature of the thing. But there is people who just nerf things into the ground to a point where it's weaker than the other ones, and so they turn around and nerf those things in the ground instead of, okay, we could pull a few nerfs off of this one character. And maybe that will, like, equalize a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, it's a numbers game. I don't know too much in. I just know some of the mechanics feel a little weird.
Okay.
But for that stuff, like, going back into it too, the VIP stuff, I hate when it's temporary. There's a couple games out there that's like, oh, you are at level 3 VIP, but it only lasts for so long, and then you get nothing again. So you're literally incentivized to keep paying to keep your boost in a certain level consistently. And they have like 50 fucking tiers of this thing.
What?
It is stupid.
What game?
I wish I knew it, but it was in Japanese, so I didn't know too much about it, and I cannot recall it correctly without completely butchering the name.
Okay.
It was a long one. It was just one I saw like in this thing when we were doing research on this topic, that what's toxic out there, and I saw that, and I'm like, that is some toxic and very predatory practices. Some other games out there that are free that I'm pretty sure certain people can find somewhere on the internet without any evidence or push to find, can actually see that there's some that are like that too.
Yeah.
We're just saying. But on top of that, I think like they usually come in tandem with the VIP stuff, is also premium gacha. I hate premium gacha bullcrap. Because when you have gacha and you could like just throw money, like your own in-game currency into it and like try to run out stuff, it's fine.
Yeah.
And sometimes like you're going to have a very miraculous time getting the rare characters. That's fine. You can still technically get them for free.
Yeah.
Right? What I don't like is when they're like, hey, we had the premium gacha. Pay $10 more and you get a character that's guaranteed 4 stars, maybe.
Yeah,
and then, or the premium plus premium gacha. It's $50. Guaranteed legendary equipment with your character that you might get.
Yeah, but those, I guess those are for those with screw you money. But.
Well, that's the thing. That's the whales do keep it up, and I'm not knocking on the fact that whales keep them up, but that is predatory.
Yeah.
You're basically saying these whales will get rewarded these super things as long as you just keep churning out the money.
Yeah.
That's the problem I have, is that like you can't bleed your whale dry.
Yeah.
In hopes to keep your company afloat.
Oh, speaking of which, we should also do one when you get the luck of the devil and you just get. So sometimes when I play Destiny Child and I just do like, oh, here's a free pool. Holy crap, I got.
Oh yeah.
I get something really insane. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never had something like that. Well, no, I lied. When Dragalia Lost had the Monster Hunter collaboration, the first Monster Hunter collaboration, I got about 6 Fatalis. Nothing else, just Fatalis constantly. Just Fatalis stacked in Fatalis, fed Fatalis with a side of Fatalis. Deep fried in some Fatalis.
I think I got on Xenoblade. I got Cosmos right after your second town.
Okay.
Something like that, yeah. I got her.
I did not get a single good blade until like halfway through the game. Like I got all these like faceless Space Marine ones.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like that's all I had.
Yeah.
And I just made do with it. It's whatever. But at the same time, Jesus, I did not get anything cool. Like I think I got some samurai character. And I was like, I'll roll with this. And dude was like powerful for what I had at the time. But yeah, like halfway through the game, I was just stuck with Pyra and Mithra.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm probably not that excited with Pyra and Mithra and Smash. I'm like, yay, huh?
There's another 60 hours with them. Yeah,
yeah, another 60. That's great. That's awesome. What's the next one? Kazuya. That's hilarious. I think that's hilarious. I feel like I'm the only, like, I was watching some of the reactions of Kazuya, and I feel like I'm the only American who caught on that it was Tekken related before he even, like, showed his actual character.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's weird. But all the Japanese dudes like picked it up almost immediately.
Yeah,
like almost immediately. Anyway, sidetrack. Back on the other thing, but yeah, the premium gacha and the thing that EA loved to do on their mobile games, pay to wait. We covered this on the shitty DLC nonsense too, a little bit, but I wanted to go into some detail on it. But I hated, like, it was like Dungeon Keeper or something like that.
Yeah, Dungeon Keeper.
EA was horrifically abusive on it, but it's not the only game EA's done this to, and it's not the only game that's not the only company that's done this. Zynga, the people who made Farmville and all that crap, is notorious in doing it first. Like, always like, oh, you want to, like, boost your farm level 3? It'll take 15 minutes. Oh, okay. Oh, you want to take it to level 4? Yeah, it'll take 4 weeks. What? Like, it, like, triples over the top of everything else, and then you got ones that are waiting, like, 2 months on stuff, and then... But that's where Zynga made a shit ton of money. Yeah. Nobody wanted to wait anymore. Yeah. And that is predatory as crap. Like, I ain't buying into that. But, yeah, no, that's just... I always hated that type of crap. Like, for mobile games, it's like walking through a landmine. Right? And we've talked about how good, like, some of the good games out there. Like, I don't care if there's gotchas too much, as long as, like, the stuff doesn't, like, bleed into PvP power boosting and stuff. Yeah. I don't care about much of this DLC if it's cosmetic and stuff. For the most part, I like that. Like, it's fine. It's a little bit way to earn a little extra money, but honestly, I don't like cosmetics. So, like, it's of little use to me. You know, I like some games, like, honestly, a lot of the games I play, I like playing the, like, base character colors. I don't know why. It just looks more natural to me. Yeah. Like, that's just the way I am. When I'm playing against friends and stuff, I will play horrific colors. I'll play bright orange and stuff like that. But for the most part, like, that's why it's so hard to find a good mobile game out there. Because all these things, like, what we're talking about now, with, like, affordability and why it just constantly gets more predatory, and it constantly ups the ante of how much crap you can actually get from your money. Yeah.
Just the issue is that things that are good don't make money, but things that are predatory tends to make the most money. So
it's weird. There was an app on the App Store that was only like $600, and they removed it, and then people were upset because all it did was just did a little fanfare that you spent $600 on the app. And that's all it was. Yeah. And like, it was dumb, but it was whatever. But that's why we talked about mobile games before. When we're talking about stuff that there's actually good stuff out there, right? Yeah. Brawl Stars, Destiny Child, various things like that. But there's a lot out there that are just landmines, and it can easily become a thing for any of the companies we talked about before. Yeah. I could easily turn around and end up falling into a pitfall with Brawl Stars eventually, and it's gonna be like, what the hell, you know? Like, I don't want this, and I'll leave it, you know? Yeah. Which is a shame, because theoretically that game's actually not too bad. But if they pull crap like this, I'm willing to drop them like a hot rock. Yeah. But that's basically some of the things, basically a warning for just about everyone who wants to get into some free-to-play, freemium, or mobile games in general, that there are landmines out there, and it's best not to swan dive onto them.
Yeah. Don't pay to pay. Oh, you gave me $5? Well, if you give me another $5, you don't have to wait for 48 hours to give me another $5 again.
Yeah. And then, like, just flood you with all the great stuff at first, and like, oh, but I have so many good things. Everybody has that super S-rare character guy. Everyone. I know. You're not special. Yeah. If you feel like you desperately have to, don't do it. Like, don't feel like you're obligated. Yeah. But that's just words from the wise, or probably relatively stupid goblin. But, you know, it's whatever. But, you guys, this is going to be a good place to end it here. And I would like to thank you guys all for listening. If you like our channel, please go ahead and hit like and subscribe. Maybe even make a comment if you like. And, you know, see us on any other channels such as Gab or Minds. And we will see you on the other side.
Bye. I'll see ya.